There was a boy who defied every limit placed on him by fate. Born without fibula bones in his calves, doctors told his parents that amputation below the knees was the only way forward for a normal life. He was just 11 months old when it happened. But little Oscar Pistorius didn't let missing legs stop him. He learned to walk on fiberglass pegs. By the time he was a teenager, he was playing rugby, water polo, and wrestling, sports most would say were impossible for someone like him. Then came an injury that changed everything. At 16, after tearing ligaments in his knee playing rugby, Oscar turned to running, not for competition, but for rehabilitation. Within weeks, he was faster than ever. Faster than people with 2 good legs. And soon, the world started to take notice. By 17, he was at the Paralympics in Athens. Gold in the 200 meters, bronze in the 100, a rising star, a symbol of hope. The media gave him a name that stuck, the Blade Runner, a nod to the sci-fi movie, because the sleek carbon fiber prosthetics he wore looked like something out of the future. Oscar wanted more than Paralympic glory. He wanted to race the best in the world. For years, the International Association of Athletics Federations said no. They claimed his blades gave him an unfair advantage. But after scientific studies and legal battles, they relented. In 2012, history was made. Oscar Pistorius became the first double amputee to compete in the Olympic Games. At the London Olympics, he ran not just for himself, but for anyone who had ever been told they couldn't. He didn't win a medal, but millions watched in awe. Athletes called him inspiring. Children dreamed bigger. And the world saw what was possible when willpower meets technology. He was a hero, a legend in the making. But heroes are still human. Off the track, Oscar's personal life grew complicated. In 2012, he met Reeva Steenkamp, a beautiful, intelligent young woman with dreams of her own. She was a model, a law graduate, and an advocate for women's rights. Their relationship blossomed under the public eye. Paparazzi followed them. Social media buzzed with their romance. But behind closed doors, things weren't always perfect. On February 14th, 2013, Valentine's Day, it all fell apart. Just after 3, a man in the quiet suburbs of Pretoria, South Africa, 4 gunshots rang out inside a home. The sound shattered the night. Neighbors heard screams. Emergency services rushed in. When they arrived, they found Reeva Steenkamp dead shot through a locked bathroom door. Oscar Pistorius stood over her body, weeping. "I thought it was an intruder," he told police. Prosecutors told another story. They said there was no intruder, that Reeva had argued with Oscar, that she locked herself in the toilet cubicle, that he fired those shots intentionally. The courtroom became a battlefield. Emotions ran high. Evidence was dissected. Expert witnesses clashed. The world watched as the Blade Runner stood accused of murder. In 2014, the verdict came down. Not guilty of premeditated murder, but guilty of culpable homicide, South Africa's version of manslaughter. 5 years in prison. But justice, for many, felt incomplete. The prosecution appealed. The court agreed the sentence was too light. In 2015, the original conviction was overturned. Oscar Pistorius was now officially a murderer. His sentence climbed from 5 years to 6 to finally 15 years behind bars. "You are a fallen hero," the judge said, "who has lost everything." Inside the walls of Atteridgeville Correctional Center, Oscar faded from public view. The headlines stopped. The interviews dried up. He spent his days reading, studying, reflecting. Financially ruined, publicly disgraced, spiritually broken. The man who once inspired the world was now living a life of regret. Meanwhile, Reeva's family fought to keep her memory alive. Her mother, June Steenkamp, spoke out again and again, not for revenge, but for truth. There can never be justice if your loved one is never coming back, She said after Oscar's parole in 2024, "We who remain behind are the ones serving a life sentence." Barry Steenkamp, Reeva's father, passed away in 2023, still grieving the daughter he lost. In January 2024, Oscar Pistorius walked free, on parole, under strict conditions. He lives quietly in Pretoria with his uncle, obligated to perform community service, to attend anger management classes, to stay sober, to stay silent. No interviews, no public appearances. Just a long road ahead to try to make peace with the life he took. Oscar Pistorius was once a symbol of hope, of courage, of the power of the human spirit. But his story is also a warning about fame, about violence, about how quickly everything can change. And above all, it reminds us of Reeva, a bright, kind soul whose life was stolen, whose legacy deserves to shine brighter than the tragedy that ended it. Because in the end, we remember not just the fall of a hero, but the loss of a daughter, a sister, a dreamer.